I am gonna show you the best vitamins to open up your blood vessels in your legs and improve circulation. And if you're a senior, this is very important because as we age, we get more and more vascular problems. We get more spider veins, varicose veins, and the blood tends to pool in the legs and the feet. And so it's really important that we keep our blood vessels nice and open. And when it comes to opening up these blood vessels, there are certain nutrients that are very essential. And in this video, I am going to go over the top 3 nutrients that you need to consume on a daily basis to help open up those blood vessels and improve circulation, especially in your legs. Now, before I dive into those 3 nutrients, it's imperative that you understand how blood flow works in the body, especially in the legs. So if we take a look at this image here, what you want to pay attention to are these 2 arrows. So this big artery here, this is your aorta, and the blood flows from the heart down through this artery, and then it branches off into smaller arteries. Okay, and then eventually it gets to the capillaries, and the capillaries are teeny, tiny little blood vessels. They're 1 cell thick, and they actually deliver oxygen and nutrients into the tissues of the legs, okay? And the waste products come out of the cells, and then the capillaries collect that, and then empty into these things called veins. Okay, which then bring the blood back up towards the heart. So what you want to pay attention to is that there are 2 sets of valves in these veins. There's one valve right near where the vein is bringing the blood back towards the heart. There's a valve there. But there's another set of valves that are located in the smaller veins that are in the feet. Now what happens is that when you're standing up or you're walking around, the blood is flowing upwards against gravity. So those valves in the feet are really important to make sure that the blood does not pool in the feet, but instead flows upwards. However, if those valves are damaged or they don't work properly, what can happen is that your lines have blood that starts to pool in the feet and the ankles, and then it can even go up into the legs. And this creates all sorts of problems because then you get edema or swelling in the legs, you can get varicose veins, spider veins, you can feel tired and heavy in your legs, and worst of all, there's an increased risk of getting clots. And so it's really important to keep that blood flowing upwards. Alright. Now that you understand that, let us talk about the 3 key nutrients to open up those blood vessels. No, one is vitamin C. Why? Because vitamin C is a very powerful antioxidant and it protects the inside walls of the arteries and the veins from getting damaged. In fact, vitamin C helps to keep the tissues that line the inside of those blood vessels nice and smooth so the blood can flow freely. But vitamin C also has another property. It stimulates the production of collagen. And what is collagen? Collagen is a structural protein that keeps those veins nice and strong so they don't bulge out or become varicose. Vitamin C is also good to improve circulation because it supports the adrenals and the adrenal hormones. The adrenal hormones help to regulate the tone of the blood vessels, meaning that they can help to constrict them or expand them. Vitamin C also acts as a natural anticoagulant, or it prevents the blood from clotting too much. This is why people who are deficient in vitamin C often have a tendency to bruise easily. And it's interesting because some people have this false idea that vitamin C will prevent you from getting clots. That's not true. Vitamin C won't do that. Vitamin C actually improves circulation, which will naturally prevent clots because the blood is flowing better. But vitamin C won't directly reduce the risk of getting clots. What vitamin C will do is it will reduce the tendency for the blood to clot excessively by keeping the endothelial layer, the inner layer of the artery or vein, nice and smooth. Now, when it comes to vitamin C, most people need between 70 to 90 milligrams spread throughout the day. Now, if you want to learn more about the best type of vitamin C, and I'm talking about the kind that won't give you the runs, but instead will give you a nice boost of energy, go ahead and check out this video right here. Alright, number 2 is a very interesting one. It's called diosmin. Now, diosmin is a bioflavonoid, okay? And a bioflavonoid is basically a subclass of vitamin C. So you might be saying, well, wait a minute, if it's a subclass of vitamin C, do I need to take more vitamin C? Well, not necessarily. Some people will benefit from taking more vitamin C, but for others, they will benefit from taking diosmin. And what's interesting about diosmin is that it's a very potent antioxidant. It can help to reduce inflammation in the blood vessels. But it also has a direct effect on those valves in the veins to make sure that they close properly so the blood flows upwards. And Diosmin is actually used clinically for people with chronic venous insufficiency, okay, where there's poor circulation in the legs. Diosmin is usually taken between 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day. Alright, the third nutrient is vitamin E, and vitamin E is a group of fat-soluble compounds that are very powerful antioxidants. Vitamin E is really good at protecting the lipids, or the fats, that are in the blood vessels from getting damaged, and it also helps to keep those blood vessels nice and flexible. Vitamin E is also good to prevent clotting, and it is also good to improve circulation because it relaxes the smooth muscle in the blood vessel walls, allowing the blood to flow more freely. One thing that's really interesting about vitamin E is that it works synergistically with vitamin C. What that means is that they work together, so if you're taking vitamin C, it's a good idea to take vitamin E along with it because they both have an additive effect and can help to improve circulation. Vitamin E is usually taken between 30 to 100 milligrams per day. Now there are several other nutrients that are good to improve circulation, such as cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is really good to warm up the body and improve circulation. It can help to open up those blood vessels. Turmeric is another great herb that's anti-inflammatory, and it's a very powerful antioxidant. Garlic is good to lower blood pressure and improve circulation. Ginkgo biloba is another herb that is excellent to improve blood flow to the brain, but it is also good for improving circulation in the extremities like the hands and the feet. But I would say that out of all of those herbs and out of all the nutrients that I just mentioned, the top 3 that I recommend for overall improvement of circulation are vitamin C, Diosmin, and vitamin E. Now, if you're new here, I've put some very important information in the description that I want you to be aware of before you take any of these nutrients. And also I'd like to mention that if you're enjoying my content, which I hope you are, and you're applying this knowledge to your health, and you have a success, I would really appreciate you sharing your success story. So click the link down below where you can upload your success story so you can help inspire others.